Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome back to another spring sale video. So this time I'm looking at games that I consider to be some of my favorites, and of course they're also on good sales right now. So I've played all these games and I enjoy them, mixture of different genres and different prices. So let's get into this. First we have Mad Max. So this is the open world game that I wanted to mention. Post-apocalyptic setting. This is sort of a movie tie-in when the movie came out, whatever it was called, Fury Road. And I was surprised because I went in with lower expectations for this game, but I was blown away by how good this was. Especially the world, the wasteland was amazing. This game also had amazing hand-to-hand combat, very similar to the Arkham games, Batman games, but better in my opinion, more crunchy somehow. Then there was of course a lot of car customization and also car combat. So overall it made for a very fun game, even if the overall formula was pretty much like any other open world game. Take out enemy outposts, collect some items, get some scrap, upgrade your things. Yeah, the feel was very good and maybe could have done a bit more with the survival elements, but it was a very fun, enjoyable open world game. So this is now of course very cheap these days, 75% off, 247 in India, $5, £4 and €5. Next is a more recent game. This is the Riftbreaker. I always make a point to mention this game because again, very good game, very well made game. So this is more a base building, tower defense, combat action, mixture of several things. So you are a scientist inside this mech called Mr. Riggs, and you are sent on an alien planet. You are sort of going there to prepare the planet for the human arrival later. And you have to, dig for resources, generate power, make bases, defend those bases against the hostile creatures on this planet. Now, for some reason, the creatures here are insanely hostile and they attack you in waves of thousands. So that's basically what you do. You set up a base, you start, mining for resources, you set up perimeter turrets, guns, whatever. You do something about generating power, and then they attack you in waves. You get informed about the waves of attacks. Now, on the other hand, you have multiple ways of generating power. You have wind energy, you have solar energy. But if there's a attack at night, for example, then you obviously don't have the solar power. Similarly, when the wind stops blowing or it starts raining or something, then you don't have the wind. So you have to balance everything and complete the missions. And as you can see here, when the enemies attack, they don't just attack in like small numbers. They attack in the hundreds or maybe even thousands at a time. And surprisingly, the game was so well optimized. I never saw a frame drop even when you had so much going on the screen. So overall, very nice game. I have it on Steam. I have it on Epic. I played it on the Game Pass before I got them elsewhere, and I think they dropped the DLC as well. They did send me a key for the Steam version of the DLC. I haven't played the DLC. I've loved the base game quite a lot, and of course the game also has a demo. So if you are into these tower defense style games, check this out, because this has a little more than just base building and tower defense, because your mech has basically two arms and you can equip two different type of weapons, like actual proper guns, so you can do some fighting yourself. Very enjoyable game. So let me tell you the price. So 35% off, 486 in India, $1949, £1624 and €1949. Next we have a linear story driven game, A Plague Tale: Innocence. Again, very enjoyable game. Really like this game. I have played and completed this game twice. A very nice story set during the Black Death in Europe, people dying of the plague and rats everywhere. So you have basically two enemies, the Inquisition and the rats. And you are basically playing as a 14-year-old girl who's protecting her brother. There's a bit of supernatural element here as well. But yeah, overall, very enjoyable, old-fashioned, you could say, story-driven game. This is 80% off, 339 in India, $8, £7 and €8. Next is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So this is more of a psychological, atmospheric, maybe horror-ish game, you could say. Third person. So this is a story about a Celtic woman who is going through Viking hell trying to retrieve the soul of her lover. So this game also tackles mental health issues, because you don't know what is going on exactly half the time. And the important thing here with this game is play this with headphones, because that is a big deal with this game. The audio is amazing. They use binaural audio. So if you put headphones on, it immerses you more in the game. It also scares you a little bit, I guess. So this is 75% off, 182 in India, $749, 624 pounds, and 749 euros. Next is Enslaved Odyssey to the West Premium Edition. So this is an older game, but I have a soft spot for this one. I like it. This is made by Ninja Theory, the same people who made Hellblade. This is one of their earlier games, initially console exclusive, then came to PC. Third-person action game, very loosely based on the Odyssey to the West thing. So two people here. You have a guy, this guy called Monkey, and the girl, I forgot her name, a Trip or something like that. So basically, post-apocalyptic setting. Instead of enemies, you have these giant mechs everywhere, and you have to escort this girl safely across the West. So yeah, just very nice looking game for a PS3 era style game. So this is 85% off, 196 in India, $3, 224 pounds, and 3 euros. Next is Tales of Iron, a 2D Souls-like game where you play as Reggie. Reggie is a rat. He is also the prince of a rat kingdom. Now there are some evil frog clans that invade and kill your father, who's the king, and of course destroy your kingdom. So you have to rise and reclaim your rightful place as the king of the rats, I guess. Very funny game, enjoyable. Boss fights are entertaining. The best part about this game is the narrator is Doug Cockle, who is the voice actor for Geralt of Rivia. So that made it more enjoyable. There were some Easter eggs with, Witcher 3, etc. as well. Very entertaining game overall. The boss fights were very satisfying. You have different weapons, and you have to balance all of that, riposte and parry and stuff like that. So it should take you about 10 to 12 hours if you finish the game. I tried to do like the whole thing 100% it, and it took me about 18 hours. And yeah, very entertaining game. This is 65% off, 454 in India, $874, 769 pounds, and 874 euros. Next is Warhammer Vermintide 2. So I've picked this one because this is my favorite co-op game. So another red theme game. I've covered several red theme games here. Anyway, so this one, this is in the end times Warhammer Fantasy. Rats have, what are they called, rats in this one? Skaven. Skavens, they have collaborated with the Northmen or something, and basically you have to fight them off. So you have different maps, 5 different characters. They all have big personalities, and depending on your playstyle, you pick one and you go through the map completing the objectives. You can play alone, and you'll get 3 bots with you if you play alone. If you have friends, it's even more fun. This is by far one of the best games to play with friends. That is not PvP, this is PvE obviously. And yeah, very enjoyable. Lots of maps, big maps as well. Very interesting set of enemies. You have to work together, multiple difficulty settings as well, and just generally lots to do. Very well optimized. You get good FPS here. Performance is fantastic, looks good, and yeah, it's also very cheap right now. These are also the people who made the recent Darktide game. So this was their previous game, and I think more successful game. Darktide still has some issues, I guess, right now. So this is 80% off, 200 in India, $6, 475 pounds, and 559 euros. Now this has a lot of content here in terms of maps and character packs and cosmetics and stuff like that. What you need to remember is if you are in a party of 4 people, friends, etc., and if one of you has all the map DLCs, everybody can play on it. You don't all need to own it. So that is the good thing. The game is also quite big right now because of how many maps and things there are. So it's about 100 GB download. Next is a more mainstream AAA game. This is Resident Evil 2. Now, I was someone who did not grow up with these games. I did not play these games. I did not play horror games as such. So this was a bit of a surprise to me because I got this free with my graphics card a few years ago, and I decided to check it out and see if I like this sort of thing. And I enjoyed it. I liked it very much. It was very entertaining, very well made, graphically well optimized, ran very well on my older graphic card. And yeah, good length as well. So you have two protagonists, so you have to play the whole game twice, and you get two different perspectives of the same story with some different scenes here and there. And as you can see here, 82,000 reviews, all of them overwhelmingly positive. Very, very good game overall. Like, this is how remakes should be made, and now of course at a good price. So 75% off, 500 in India, just under 500. So perfect price, $10, 874 pounds and 10 euros. You should get at least 10-12 hours easily. Now, of course, there are some cosmetics and stuff. You don't really need that. They don't have any story, DLC, etc. So just get the base game, is enough. If you want the cosmetics, you can get them later. But I don't really see them on sale ever. I don't know why. Next, we have a 2D platformer, and this is Fury Unleashed, another game with roguelike elements, a lot of fast, fluid combat. The controls are very precise, very tight for this one. Story is set in like a comic book setting, so you are fighting in the pages of a comic book, as you can see here, and that's like three different comics. You start with the first panel on the top left, and then make your way all the way to the bottom right, and then once you finish all the pages, there's a boss fight. So I think there are three. Very entertaining game. They also added co-op recently, so fun with friends as well. Of course, with these style of graphics, very easy to run. And yeah, I've played quite a bit of it and really liked it. So this is 75% off, 220 in India, $5, 449 pounds and 5 euros. Next is Cloudpunk. So the Cloudpunk is a cyberpunk delivery style game. The city is called Nevales, Cyberpunk City. You are a delivery driver for the company Cloudpunk, and your job is to deliver packages without asking questions. Now, through these packages and through these deliveries, they tell you the story of what's going on. There's a bigger plot here involved about the future of this city that's at the verge of breaking, basically. And yeah, overall story was good. This is a combat free game, so play this for the environment, the setting, the atmosphere, and for that it was pretty good, and I really liked it. They also added a DLC which I haven't finished yet, but I did play a little bit of it. But the base game here is 65% off, 280 in India, $7, 594 pounds and 7 euros. Now, this is a more recent game that I played. This is Remember Me. Now, I did remember this game when it first came out back in 2013, I think. Yeah. So I got a chance to pick this up recently. I played this. Again, a cyberpunk theme. You are someone called, what's her name? Nilin, and she's a memory hunter. So in this future, people store and delete their memories. If there's a bad memory, they delete it and stuff like that. And your character Nilan, she has the ability to alter memories. But at the start of this game, she wakes up with no memory of her own, and she has to go through the game, try to recover her memories, and find out what happened. This is set in Paris in the year 2084, I think. So yeah, 5-6 hour game. This is made by Dontnod, the people behind the Life is Strange games, and the story is the best part of this game. There's also some combat which involves a lot of combos, although I didn't get too much into the different combos. Just the basic combo was enough for most of it, and you should get about 7 to 10 hours depending on how quickly you go through it. But yeah, overall I really liked it as well, especially now because these are much cheaper. So this is 80% of 359 in India, $6, 459 pounds and 559 euros. Next is another Warhammer game. So this is Warhammer 40k Space Marine Anniversary Edition. So a sequel to this has been announced after 10 years or so, and it should come out later this year. But this is the original game from 2011. You play as Captain Titus of the Ultramarines, and you have to go on a planet and figure out what's happening. There's an orc invasion and there's some other things happening. A typical sort of third-person action game within the Warhammer 40k setting. Enjoyable. When I played this, I played it recently a couple of years ago, and this reminded me of the PS3 360 era of games where you have a lot of brown and gray textures, but they're simple fun, and that was the appeal of this game. Now, the game originally was made by a different developer, and it changed hands, I think. So the price has gone up, but this is the first time they have dropped it a little bit after the recent increase. So this is 85% off, 449 in India, $9, £6 and 674 euros. This was selling at 750 recently, which is a little too much for such an old game. But now I guess under 500 is not bad because you do get 5-6 hours of content in this one, and it's a nice story. Next is Valiant Hearts: The Great War. So this is a Ubisoft game, and this is made like an indie game. So you have this cartoony 2D art style. It tells the story of 4 different characters during the First World War. So very heartwarming story. All of them are interconnected in some way, and it basically shows you the horrors of war and things like that. So this is 75% off, 187 in India, $374, £312 and 374 euros. I think this was given away free by Ubisoft as well at some point, so you may already have it if you've been picking up the free games. Now this one may not be familiar to a lot of you. This is the Descendant. So think of the Telltale games and the episodic structure, but with a bit of a Fallout theme. That's the best way I can describe this game. So you have, I think, 5 episodes or something, and the first one should be free. Yeah, the first episode is free. So as a lot of these episodic games do, they give you the first episode free, and then you can buy the others or you get the complete set, which is very cheap, as you can see here, insanely cheap. So this is a great value game in my opinion. 5 episodes, interesting story. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but think of Telltale's Walking Dead plus Fallout. That sort of story. This is 90% off, only 47 in India, $149, £1 and 9 pence, and 149 euros. And then finally, my favorite boomer shooter of recent years. So these are basically FPS games made on the build engine and made to look like stuff from the 90s, but obviously with some modern conveniences. And this is the favorite one I have here, Ion Fury. Very small game, very well optimized. A potato will run this. You'll get 200, 300, 400 frames per second, no problem. And it's just some easy fun, just blow up stuff, different weapons. Yeah, I really like this game. There is a DLC coming out for this one soon, and there is a sequel also announced, which is going to be a bit bigger, and I think maybe made in Unity, but still not too big and not too demanding to run. So this is 60% off, 227 in India, $10, £779 and 839 euros. So that's the list of some of my favorite games that are on sale. Obviously, there are some more games that I've already mentioned in the other videos, so I didn't want to repeat them here. Stuff like Darkest Dungeon or something like that. But yeah, hopefully you like these games. If you have played them, let me know. And also, if you have some of your own recommendations for this sale, let me know, because obviously I can't cover each and every game, and also there may be some genres that I'm not too familiar with. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.